Alright, and hello and welcome to another Angry Arms Simulator. Chop Shop Simulator. Still kind of an Angry Arms Simulator because we're making customers angry all the time. So we got this beautiful vehicle here that we have more parts to disassemble. And we have the other vehicle behind us that we're going to have some issues with. Generally kind of getting it out the door because, well, we did so much to it, so it's going to be a little bit of a hassle to get out the door, I believe. So we're going to get these 2 bolts on back onto here, we get the shock absorber back onto here, and thank you for tuning in today, and appreciate everyone who watches my videos. And I hope this is maybe a little bit informative, but a little bit of fun, as I'm just here talking away about what I'm doing in the video. There's no real, just hanging out with my cats and doing my YouTube thing here and living my life the best I can. Ripping off myself in the video game. All of these poor customers that bring their vehicles in here. Okay. Well, we got all this put back together that we're going to have to tear it right back apart again, probably. Because the vehicle was in way better condition than when it came in, but did have a lot of exhaust problems and other items like that, so I'll have a little attempt anyways. We're going to put everything back together. You know me, we like to put everything right to the very limit here. Angry Irons, come here. Talking to my kitty. Angry Guns. Hello. Say hi. She's scared. Don't touch me noise. Same noise that my cat makes. She's curling up in my hand. She's gonna go to sleep. She's 15 years old and she's always slept right in my hand ever since she was a little kitten. So now that she's bigger, she'll come and curl up in my palm of my hand with her paw. Don't touch me with her paws, and she'll clean my hand, and she'll put her face down on my thumb and rub her face against my thumb, and she'll sit there and relax and slowly fall asleep until I need my other hand. Okay, well, oops. Well, I guess if I, fortunately lost a hand, I would. She's pre-trained me. Okay, so looks like we got this all together. We're gonna get this car back down on the ground. And we're gonna close the hood. And on this job, $3,171 if it's sprayed with a factory paint is what we have to do. And, looks like we made $1,000 and we spent, made $2,164 or something like that, and a $1,000 bonus, and now we got this beautiful car inside of our booth. It looks like it pre-comes with the paint, and we double check that yes, we want to spend $500 to paint the car. It's a non-recoverable fee, so now we got the car painted. Look at how beautiful that is. It just made it real shiny. Maybe I should do that with every car. Well, we could do that if we had some vehicles that were too garbage. Maybe we'll just paint it for $500, $5,253. Car is complete. Coils, cover, V8 is what we need to put back on there. So $1,332, $3,664, and $1,252, I believe it was, for the amount of money that we have received on this job. $1,000 being the final bonus and $1,252 being the first bonus, and we have $3,664, I believe it was, for the initial income of the job. So we're going to walk away with quite a few pennies from this job if we actually have the vehicle placed back together properly. Okay. Practicing, trying not to say it all the time. But we got these bolts going back in here, and we're going to place the ignition coil into the correct slots. That way the vehicle will be capable of firing again and operating with precision accuracy that it always has with this vehicle. minus the alternator and the garbage items that we're going to put back into this vehicle. Oh, nothing but fun. Good times. We're going to get some of these idler rolly B's back on here. Looks like maybe we were dealing with some idler rolly A's before. Look, but we'll see in a minute. We got a crankshaft pulley that we're going to put on here. And either rolly B, either roller B, rolly older, rolly either. I don't know, something. Alright, we're going to get these bolts back in here and... okay, water pump pulley. Yes. 4 bolts. Get the 4th one. And either rolly B. The last one that we have to... either roller B. Oh, I can't even stop myself. I'm not going to go and fix it. I don't really care that much. I'm not very good sometimes with my words. Pronunciation. Okay, well, it looks like we do have everything kind of assembled. We're just trying to do a nice little view for you guys, and we're getting the do not touch me noise because I'm trying to click on the power steering. We're going to put these 2 bolts back together. And we're going to place the serpentine belt B on here, and we're going to place this other serpentine belt A V8 style onto here. We got this other either rolly A, is the one that we were talking about before. And we have completed the job, $5,253. We need another belt tensioner on there, so... it looks like we have it all. Oh yeah, at the very bottom we needed the belt tensioner that we're going to pull off and place the garbage one on back onto there before, and now we have to complete the job. $5,253 is the income that we're going to receive, so I guess we're going to go back and probably do a little bit with the engine and try to get a couple things pulled back off of here, and eventually we'll get this car in good enough condition to leave the garage. It's just a question of how much that body affected the condition, how much that exhaust affected the condition, and I think there was like one other item that was, you know, really big, but, you know, spray it, but it's okay. Well, we're going to have to do a little bit more engine work here, unfortunately. Maybe we'll take this pulley off of here, tensioner off of here, and we'll replace the tensioner with a different lower quality tension. And we are going to place this lower quality tensioner. We're going to take this battery out of here. Get this garbage battery. Maybe it's just as simple as a battery. I don't think it's going to be one thing, so maybe we'll put the battery back. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get the battery back into there, and that was kind of pointless. And maybe we'll go over here and start playing around with these shock absorber caps, and we're going to have to get it back on the hoist, unfortunately. So we're going to go back into the hoist, make sure you don't get another vehicle over there. In the meantime, I don't know, the only way you can do that is by getting your experience up to 9,000, then you get this car stuck outside, and you get so many projects stuck outside that are too much garbage conditions, so you might as well deal with the garbage conditions in real time. Probably should have tried the belt tensioner at the same time, but whatever. Back over here. Now, you know, if it's just as simple as a cap and a tensioner, then we're going to be having some good luck there. We'll be having good times in the future. So, well, we're going to place the belt tensioner back on here. Oh, the higher value one, we got so used to putting the lowest value on there, it kind of becomes habit. So we're going to go ahead and test it out. $5,253. Car is in worse condition than it arrived. So, maybe we'll do the shock absorber on the bottom, or a tie rod, or something easy. I'm going to have to go over here and access the vehicle from the side. Now we shall go and over to the other side, and we will take this outer tie rod off. We have to take the wheel off. We have to take the wheel off. There we are. We take the wheel off from the inside of the vehicle. Okay. We got super bendy, stretchy arms, so that we can do that from while we're warped inside of the vehicle here. I'm going to go ahead and place the better one here, just see if we can get it out faster, less mucking around. M-U-C-K, mucking around. And less issues we're going to have. Alright. Gonna get this hood closed. Maybe. 5,000 cars in worse condition than it arrived. Oh boy. We got a problem here. Alright. Maybe we'll do these links back here. You know? So that's a quick little, easy little thing we can slap on, slap. Well, come on, don't touch me, noise. Really? You have to take the tire off just for a link? Isn't he out there chasing rubies somewhere? Alright, get these back on here. We're going to place one better condition link on here. And I believe it will test if the vehicle can leave the shop or not. Hopefully it will. $5,253? No. Well, isn't that shocking? We're going to take this wheel off first because we're going to have to take the wheel off to do anything. Even though sometimes you really don't need to take the wheel off, but okay. I'm not a mechanic. I just, I skipped the tutorial. You know, I'm just, grease level 5, I think we're at now. I think we're at full grease level. $5,253. Car's in worse condition than it arrived. Shucks. Well, isn't this going to be a problem? This is why you want to make sure you keep track of how many parts you're going to replace. But, you know, a couple tie rods here, a couple tie rods there. I think that's going to be the easier option to try instead of just tearing everything apart. But, probably going to have to do that in the end. There's more vehicles we can dump these parts on. These are pretty common parts. Tie rods and bushings and, you know, caps and things like that. Well, it's going to be beautiful. We got that rim monitor off of here. We're going to go back to the left lifter for some reason. Now we're going to add $5,253, $1,332 for bonus, $1,252 for the money. And I think it was like 30. I don't know. Can't remember how much we actually are getting paid. We'll go cover that in 1 minute. I'm sure I'll just change one little thing here. And we're going to go ahead and take the pulley off. And we'll try replacing the alternator. Because we do have, you know, alternator's pretty common. This would be a nice alternator though. But, whatever. You know? Why take, yeah, it's only 100%. Maybe we can take it off of this one. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Gonna have to come in here and do a bunch of engine work anyways, so there we are. Take this alternator off of here. Oh, it looks like an 89%. Okay. So we'll put the garbage one onto this vehicle, and we'll take this one from here. We got a tensioner we're going to change out anyways, so we're going to have a tensioner in our inbox anyways, so there we go. We're going to place the two bolts back onto here. And we're going to place the serpentine belt tack on. I'm going to put this idler rolly on here. It's we're going to put the garbage one on. Just, we got to try it. We're going to try every angle. And 2,664. I thought it was 3,000. I don't know. I wasn't adding anything up while shouting it off the screen. But $2,664 is the correct amount. What's the other totals that we have? 1,257, 1,332. $5,000. We're raking it in. Well, we only got one of these, and maybe we can trade it off the other vehicle. I don't know. You know, once you start tearing so much apart, it's kind of... We could do like the manifold maybe from one vehicle to the other one, because this one has a... I replaced this manifold. Or maybe we'll do the ABS pump, or... I don't know. Kind of picky, choosy right now. We're going to go over here. We're going to take this wheel off. Going to take this outer tie rod off. Going to take this inner tie rod off. Going to take the lower suspension arm off. Nope. Going to do the shock absorber cap. And the front shock absorber. Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. There we are. I'm going to take the sway link off. And we're going to take these two bolts off of here. And, okay, we're going to place some better shock absorber up front. I'm going to place a front link onto here. And we'll place a cap on there later. We'll get an outer tie rod on here. We're going to give you a good one. Going to give you an inner tie rod. We're going to give you a good one. Now we're going to give you a garbage outer tie rod. And we shall replace the rim. And we're going to go back and do the cap still. Oh, we're going to try it without the cap. Need the cap. Well, oh well. Can't rip them off in any way possible. You know, you would wish, but, oh well. Can't just keep parts, but... Okay, well, that's a good try. Now we're going to see if we can... Nope. Car's in worse condition than it arrived. Oh, boy. I don't know. We'll get through it together, don't you worry. Okay, well, we're going to start disassembling this wheel again. Customer's like, why is the wheel coming on and off so many times? Oh, nothing, don't you worry. Get it all assembled. Oops. I think that was the wrong one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and place this other beautiful part back on here. We're going to place this other rim onto here. 5 bolts that we have to place. And it's going to be a good time. There we are. Oops. There we are. $5,253. Car is in worse condition than it arrived. Should we do the knuckle, or we just try the brake thing, or... I don't know, there's so many options I could try. By the time we tear everything apart. Just looking for something easy. Maybe trade a muffler around. Oh, back here looks pretty good, so... You know, you figure with the amount of damage that this thing was brought in with, I could at least throw all of these garbage parts on here because, you know, like, so we got this exhaust, we could trade around. Maybe. Take this exhaust off. And we have a better one sitting here, so if we just take that one and... Yeah, got rid of it. So $5,253. I could have traded it from this vehicle, but you know, I'm just going to build up my exhaust anyways, so it's not really the end of the world, you know. Probably could have got away with it, but it's okay. You know, I think we just do the old switch from this one, and we'll have a good time here. So we made $5,253. We're up to $11,137. 6,240 experience. And we have a lot of jobs waiting. So it looks like this vehicle needs just about everything. We're going to go ahead and take all of these wheels off. Not all, both of the wheels off in the rear end. It looks like it needs a complete rear end here. So we're going to start yanking everything off. And we're just going to, you know, kind of do a bit of trading where we can. Do a bit of replacing where we can. There we are. So we're going to go ahead and take this other side off here. Going to replace the links here with a better quality one. And so minimum percentage is 85%, I believe, is what we need on this vehicle. So we should be getting pretty close with the parts that we've scavenged off of other vehicles to be able to allow ourselves to keep 100% parts and be able to dump the lower quality parts onto this vehicle. So we're going to do a bit of examine mode because I never really have done any examine mode, so just going to go over and kind of see what it's all about. Do a bit of examine on the front there. There we are. We're just going to start taking everything apart. There we are. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't. Yeah, see? I called it. Perfect. The wheel hub off of there. Get the rear wheel hub bearing out first. And now we can go back to assembly. We got 100% rear wheel hub, but the other side is shot, so We'll have a look, right? See, the other side is shot. We can't just trade it from the other side, so unfortunately they're just going to need new hub altogether. So we're just going to go buy ourselves a hub as we're placing it in right now. Hub. So front rear hub, or rear wheel hub, and rear wheel hub B. And we need one for $95, so we bought 2 of them. And we need a link. We need 2 of those. We have exchanged, I just bought 1, but we need 2. We need, you know, a bunch of other parts in the future, but we're just going to go ahead and start taking everything off and see what we can salvage from this vehicle. See what parts we can trade out. We got a couple bushings we can put in here that are lower quality. And it's going to be a good time. Vehicle does have a lot of damage to it, so I do think we can kind of get away with a lot more on this vehicle than the last vehicle as well. So we're going to get this 55% in here. And it's going to be nice. Get that rear wheel hub. A new one in here. Go ahead and replace it. Perfect. Nope. Don't want to do that apparently. Okay. Good. Back on here, we're going to get this brake disc back on here, or the lower quality one. We haven't found any, so it needs a lot. Poor brake performance, fine Vixel gearbox, and replace timing, fix L engine parts, and brake caliper, brake disc, and we did find a brake disc on there, so this vehicle does have a lot that it is in the shop for, and a lot of condition issues, and a lot of service issues that it's going to require to be fixed. Minimum 85%. Money spent on the job, $117 so far. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So that brake disc was not in acceptable condition, so we have to go and purchase 2 brake discs. We have a lot of brake disc ventilators, but we do not have a lot of these brake discs, so we're going to have a few of these kicking around that we're going to have to exchange after. It's going to be nice. We have an open lifter that we have not placed any vehicle in there yet. Just waiting, and we're going to take another vehicle in here soon. However, I would like to get a head start on this. It's going to be nice. Go ahead and get this brake disc onto here. The better condition 100% brake disc. Brake pads don't matter. Brake caliper. We need to replace that. And this side is complete. Perfect. Well, for what we actually had to change out. We have the caliper on the other side that we need to do. And one other part that we need to replace on this this side. Alright, put back in before we can put the wheel on. But come back to that later, just in case I want to tear it all apart again. And we'll take this caliper. Brake pads are surprisingly in good condition, 93%. So they had the brake pads just done and they never bothered to replace anything else. Great. You know, I don't remember if I don't think I double checked which condition that this knuckle is in, but we're gonna go ahead and just disassemble it. You know, remember, just in case if I want to tear the whole part apart, the whole side of this part of the vehicle apart again, I'm gonna remove it. 3 bolts on the suspension arm. Look at how nice and beautiful it is to be working on a car that isn't all rusted. Things don't look like they're all just garbage. They don't, you know, you can actually, don't touch me. You can actually see the difference in parts finally. Look how beautiful they are. Different patinas that the metals have. Gonna have to lift it up in the air because it wants me to lift it up in the air to complete the rest of this process. So we're gonna lift the vehicle up into the air and remove some of the knuckle. Alright. Okay, 2 bolts. 1 in the front, 1 in the bottom, 1 in the back, 1 in the forward. Okay, we're gonna take these 2 nuts off of here. 2 bolts out of here. With 2 nuts on the end. Same real difference, but it just animates 2 bolts, so I'm going to say 2 bolts. Okay, what else do we have to take out? We take that rubber bushing out. We're There we are. The knuckle is off 85%, and that was entirely worthless for us to do. Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. But we can dump this garbage one onto that side, so, you know, and don't touch me. In the end, it wasn't completely worthless because we do have a bit of a 80, 85. Don't go down on the ground. I was going to say don't touch me. But we do have a bit of an upgrade there, and, you know, it's good value. Kind of odd that we have to put it all the way down on the ground. When we got stretchy arms that can reach from all the way inside of the vehicle, then we can take a tire off. Kind of odd. That's okay. This vehicle. This game was not even meant for this platform, so... Alright. Okay, we're going to take these 2 bolts out of here. Going to take more hub apart. Wheel hub. Come on. Wheel hub. Nope, don't touch me, don't touch me. Let's take the bearing out first. Now we can take the wheel hub off. Okay. Oh, car goes up in the air. Okay. Knuckle housing. Go ahead and get the lower control arm off of here. Gonna get this rubber bushing out of here before we get a bunch. Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. Maybe we'll get this lower control arm, lower suspension arm off. There we are. Get this rear axle knuckle housing. Off. Now, we're gonna go back to this side. We're gonna start assembling. 0% is gonna go onto here. Rubber bushing. We gotta replace small rubber bushing. Front wheel, rear wheel hub is gonna get placed onto here. We're gonna get the brake disc onto here. Yeah, because we have to replace the brake disc on this side because we took the brake disc off, and we're gonna need 2 brake discs, and both of them will need to be replaced. So we're gonna have to put the brake discs on here. New, and no, that 79% probably won't work, right? Nope, not gonna work because it's below 85%. So how did our money go down? We spent the money. Look, it went down to $95. We were up above 100 before. Okay. Now we got this brake disc onto here. Gonna place a better condition one on. Brake pads do not matter. We can go ahead and place the brake pads onto here. Brake caliper. We're gonna replace with the better condition one that is above 88%. I don't know. Come back and fix it later if it's wrong. Not a big problem. I believe it was the other side of the other caliper that we need to replace, but whatever. Okay, we're going to get these bolts back onto here. And we will place more bolts into this rear suspension arm A. Place some 2 bolts into here, and we're going to get this upper rear suspension arm replaced. We shall put 2 bolts into here. Next, we will do a link. We can replace those with the ultimate garbage ones. And we can replace the spring cap back here with the lowest quality we have, 79%. Spring, we're going to replace with the 83%. And we're going to go ahead and place this shock absorber cap on the top. Now we're going to go ahead and do the spring at the back. No, the rear suspension arm got in the way. So we're going to go ahead and place these 3 bolts onto here. Going to do the rubber bushing next. There we are. Now we shall place the shock absorber back onto this side. There we are. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Awesome craftsmanship. I'm going to get this rubber bushing out of here. Go ahead and trade the 2. Come on, fuel tank. Get out of the way. I think I got a garbage one. Yeah, that one's lower percentage anyways, so. Okay, we're going to go here. And go back to the rubber bushing. Take this one out. I'm going to replace it with our beautiful 61%. I don't think it's going to get much better than that, so we'll leave the other one alone for now. We can't place a garbage one in there, and this one is too low value. 85%, so it has to be 86% or higher to replace the suspension, or replace the rear knuckle housing. And then replace the suspension back onto it by attaching the suspension arms. There we are. Okay, we got the rear knuckle housing A. We're going to place this back onto here. And beautiful. Rear knuckle housing A. Gonna get this rear wheel hub back onto here, 24%. No magpies or birds chirping today. It's real smoky here, and I got the windows closed, so $340 we spent magically. Like, okay, great, glad to hear that. So now we have a total earned of $340. We're getting some check marks. We're getting a lot of parts discovered. We're getting a lot of not parts discovered. And we have a lot of engine stuff to work with, a lot of exhaust to work with, so we had to kind of go through the entire vehicle piece by piece. Is this how you leave your vehicle until you're going to come in and replace like $5,000 or $10,000 worth of parts? Or like, what's going on here? How come there's so many parts to replace? You know, you think it'd be like a simple brake job or something, but I guess, you know, it's kind of hard to develop like 3 million cars that need to come into a video game, so there are limitations, I guess. So you have to do more in one vehicle than you normally would, I assume. But it is a simulator after all. We just... oh, whatever. Okay, well, we're going to put this nut back in here, this bolt back in here. We're going to replace some rear shock absorber in here, rear suspension arm B into here. We're going to get 2 bolts back into here. Rear shock absorber A. We're going to replace this side with good parts, apparently. And the other side gets all of the garbage parts. We got that link to replace. Worst condition possible. Perfect. Look, everything's back together, and we just got to get an arm back at the top. And we got check marks, so we got to do that end link. So apparently one of them had to be completed. And, you know, so we got to go take one of them off and replace one of them correctly. Can't remember what happened. Which side was the proper and which side was the improper. But I should have just replaced that one and checked the menu first, but we're going to go over and take both of them off maybe. Nope, we're going to go back and replace this one. On, trying to get a better zoom so I don't have to mess around later, but so this one's 86% is the exact condition that we need. And do we have a check mark here? Yes, we have a check mark on the sway link here, and the link there, then the sway link at the very other side that I was just showing before. Now we have to do this wheel hub bearing, and we're gonna go and check our list. Rear wheel hub bearing, so it was not this side that we need to replace, so we're going to go ahead and pull this one out, and we don't want to do that. We need to disassemble this part, and we're going to go back to assemble mode number 2 on the keyboard, replace this with 28% condition. Now we can go over to the opposing side, and we can replace this bearing on the inside with at least better condition than 85%. And we got the check mark there, so everything has passed. And we can go ahead and discover more parts that need to be discovered on the front end. Well, we're going to go over here and buy some parts. Hub. Bearing. Need one of those. You're going to go back up there, you have to click up there. Brake. We need a pad. You're going to buy a couple of those. You can never have too many of those. You're going to buy another brake disc because we can never have too many of those. You're going to buy one caliper. So, you know, I bought a little extra than what I needed, but we're going to use it in the future. So, we'll just have, you know, that stock laying around. Apparently, it's being introduced to us now, so So 69%. Oh, we can't do the switch, but we can take one from our inventory and replace it. So that's okay. And we can replace that other side with the garbage exhaust, so it's not the end of the world. Oh, look, we can take that 4%. We want to do the lowest condition always. We go back here and gearbox problem. Yeah, fixing where is it? Running gear, poor brake. Oh, did I already switch this out before and kind of messed myself up? Yeah, that's what happened. I messed myself up. That's okay. So we're going to go back here. We're going to remove this one. Going to get this 24% on here and take this rear muffler off. And I think I only had one of them. Yeah, so we're going to trade out with the lowest condition. I don't think I had to do anything else with the exhaust, so I don't want to mess myself up even more doing that. We're going to go back to this rear suspension. We're going to go and... So we got $510 so far. Poor brake performance, fixing your rear, running gear problems. Looks like we still have a caliper that needs to be done, so that one caliper has to be checked off on the other side. I'm going to go over and double check that I did do this properly, and this one does have a high enough value. So we're going to go back to this side and do an examine mode, 87%. So the caliper must be on the front end. That's okay. We'll get this one back into here. 86%. Perfect. Doesn't really matter, but we'll get this rim back on here. Perfect. 5 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4, 5, 3, 4. There we are. Get this other rim back on here after we make sure that all the parts are back in. We got one part, the drive axle C. We're going to go ahead and replace this one. Or rear drive axle, no C. It's rear drive axle. There we are. We're going to replace this beautiful wheel with 5 bolts. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. We still have that upper control arm, I believe, that I was missing, but I'll come back and do it later, maybe. Well, brake caliper is one that we have to do on the front there, and brake disc, and so we got the back all buttoned up, and everything's looking good back there, so we're going to go ahead and start taking the front end apart here. We're going to remove this brake caliper here and get the don't touch me noise, and we're going to take the 2 bolts out of the rear. Take the pads off. We'll take the brake disc ventilated off. See, in the front it's ventilated, in the rear end it is not. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and take this front link off of here, and sway link needs to come off. We got some tie rod ends that we're going to go ahead and replace, maybe. I think I switched them out already, but I'll come back and worry about all that later. Don't you worry. I'll worry about it. Alright. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just take everything apart. We're going to replace everything that we can with all of the least percentage condition value that we can obtain. Apparently we're going to take that off. It'd be nice to maybe do that steering rack in the future, but kind of playing with a lot right now, so I think it was a tie rod that had to be done. Not too sure. Check the list later. See what yells at us later. Don't touch me. See what yells at us later. We can take this link off here because we're going to take the shock absorber off here. We're going to take the front shock absorber cap off anyways, so we'll do that later. Okay. We're going to go back to this side. We go ahead and plate this link onto this side. It is above the minimum condition that we needed. We're going to go ahead and replace the brake pads. 91%. Going to replace this brake caliper because this is the one that was damaged. So they're going to get 100%. And they're going to get replaced on this side of the vehicle. We're going to go over here. See, we got a lot of parts that we could fix. We're not going to fix any of them. Not going to do that. We're going to go over here. We're going to steal the parts that we need. Okay. Alright, we're going to put this inner tie rod on. 5%. We get the outer tie rod on, 29%. There we are. We're going to do up that one nut. We'll go down here. Inner tie rod is the one that had to be replaced. I can't remember which side it was on. We're just going to do process of elimination. Take this one off. Place this one back on in a better condition. Get the outer tie rod on in garbage. And we'll go back to our list and double check the, see we got the inner tie rod, so process of elimination helped us. Now we have all the parts that are required to be replaced, so we can go ahead and do a little bit more digging. I see a lot of engine parts that need to be done. That's okay, we'll get there eventually. Yeah, we're going to take all of this apart here in the rear side. Oh, don't touch me. I can only be tested by a test drive, so do we really want to go ahead and pull all the steering back out? I don't know. Okay, we're going to go back to the computer here. We're going to type rod. We're going to get ourselves an outer rod and inner rod. Perfect. We have purchased these, and we're going to go walk back over to our vehicle here. Then we're going to go do a bit more replacing here. Brake caliper needs to come off. Brake pads need to come off. Ventilator needs to come off. And the wheel hub needs to come off. And we're going to go ahead and take these bolts off. Nope, not going to do that. We're going to place the brake disc back onto there. We're going to place the brake pads back onto there. Brake caliper, we're going to replace with the lowest, better condition, right? Because this is the side that I believe had to be replaced. Back here. Brake caliper, all four had to be done. Okay. Perfect. Take this caliper off. I'm gonna take these pads off. I'm gonna take this brake disc ventilator off. I'm gonna take this cap off. We're gonna go to examine mode. We're gonna start examining everything. We're gonna examine everything we can. Lower suspension arm. Oh, excuse me. And we got the steering rack we can't do. We can do that front suspension part. We can do the rubber bushing. We do the sway arms. So I don't think we can do the rubber bushings without removing them. Look at that. We have all this highlighted back here already. And not much else we can look at. We can do a bit of sway bar examination here. Everything's green here. Oh, looking good back there. Except for the exhaust. The exhaust looks terrible and the other side looks terrible, but not my problem. I just built it. I don't have to drive it. There we are. See, everything's looking good pretty good here. Looking good and pretty in here. Got this rubber bushing here. Take that out. I go ahead and replace it with something better. Just for fun. I go back here. Rubber bushing is checked off. So, got a wild sneeze appear there. Okay. Replace timing belts. Find and fix any running gear problems. We got a couple parts that are not discovered yet. It's most likely going to be the engine bay. But we're just doing a good surveillance over here, making sure that we surveil everything and ensure that we have done everything to the specifications that are required. See if we can get a rubber bushing out of here, maybe. Maybe we'll replace this one with the 0%er that's been troubling this vehicle. I think this is one of the ones that we traded out before, but I'm just gonna go plunge. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! 9%. Okay, we're gonna take this rubber bushing out of here, and we're gonna replace the rubber bushing with a garbage rubber bushing, 9%. And we're going to go ahead and replace this rubber bushing with a better quality rubber bushing. 89%. See if that did anything. Not really. Oh well. Whatever. That was just for fun. Okay. Got a lot to do up there now. Wow. Okay, well, the car's going back down on the ground. Gonna get it back down on the ground from the lifter. There we are. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and take this pump and module off. Condition unknown. 19% for the ABS module. Go back here. We found the part. ABS pump, ABS module. We still have a caliper to go and fix. That's okay. We'll get to all that eventually. So we do have one laying around that we could use. And we do have a module laying around that we could use. So we're going to go ahead and place these together. We got one more bolt. Oh, well, we'll come back and do that after. Okay. Go back to the computer. ABS. Pump. Enter. ABS module. Purchase. $950. $700. $1,650. Brake disc ventilated. Brake pads. We're going to replace this brake pads onto here. Then we're going to replace the brake caliper onto here, and we're going to replace the 2 bolts that are on the rear side of this vehicle. There we are. Perfect. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. We just got a couple more parts to replace, and it'll be good times ahead of us. So we could put the wheel back on, but do we want to right now? Not really, you know? Just gonna go around and ensure that everything has been replaced, everything's been put together properly first before we get these wheels back onto here. Part not discovered. So it looks like it's probably going to be that upper cap that we missed. And we got that ABS module still. Yeah, we have to go back and put that back on there. Looks like we're going to attend to that ABS module first. There we are. This ABS module onto here. Condition 90%. It is above the 85% minimum. This is the bolt that we missed last time. And we need at least 86% condition to be replacing parts on this vehicle. Fuel filter needs to be replaced. I think we have one of those laying around. For brake performance, we got all the check marks on there. We still got one more running gear to go deal with after. Hot rod. See, we got all that. We gotta do the gearbox and place the timing parts, and that's going to be a lot. Also, kind of when I recorded this, it was like 5 a.m. I hadn't been sleeping for 24 hours, so it's kind of a thing with me. I don't sleep. Alright, well, we're going to go here and do nothing, apparently. We're going to go back to the suspension. Nope, we're just going to walk around and we're going to go back to this shock absorber cap that we never replaced, and now we're going to replace it properly, and we're going to go back to our list, I bet. And yeah, we got all the check marks finally, so we don't have to go back there and worry about that in the future. Perfect. And we're going to go replace this one with the garbage one. That way we have upgraded our part already. Don't have to worry about another vehicle. Now we're going to go back to our engine bay. There we are. Okay, so we're going to get these rims back onto here. My kitty woke up. Hey, Grumpy. Hi. Grumpy. Okay. Get this car back up into the air with the lifter and the hoist. There we go. Okay. Take this drive shaft off of here with the don't touch me noise, as my cat is tearing my hand to shreds. And we will take this all apart here. We gotta go click, 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 click all the way back here just to be able to take this drive shaft off, even though that we were just right beside it. Doesn't matter. We have to go all the way to the rear end of the vehicle. And there we are. Perfect. So we'll get all of these nuts out of here. Okay. Now we have to go all the way back up to the gearbox. Even though we were just standing right beside it. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, we're going to take this gearbox off of here. It has a one hidden nut behind the starter. That's why we have to take the starter off at all times, apparently. And we're going to get the don't touch me noise a few times, and here we are. So now we will have our flywheel that we're going to be disassembling, and we're going to have our flywheel disassembled here. Perfect. Not really. Now I have to do it with a compression tester and doohickeys that I don't really deal with right now. I'm just tearing everything apart and slapping everything back together. So with the worst possible parts that I can, I'm going to go ahead and rip you off as much as I can. $4,109 is what we made so far on this vehicle. Gearbox, flywheel. We have to get a new big gearbox for this poor thing. Tensioner, belt tensioner, water pump, fuel filter, oil filter, air filter, and gearbox, flywheel. Yeah, okay. Got all the other brake parts that we had to do on there, so not the end of the world. We're going to go back to our computer here, and we're going to go and place the parts on order. We're going to get the order. We're going to get a box. Gearbox is what we need. So we need a gearbox. It's a V8. We're going to go ahead and select the V8 option. Now we're going to go walk back over to our vehicle, and we'll go back to assemble mode by clicking on the vehicle where we want to work, and we're going to select gearbox. Now see that 18% gearbox. We're going to have to dump that on somebody else now. But we're going to go ahead and put these bolts back on here. And we'll put the starter back onto there after. I believe that we had to replace that too, so we need to go purchase a starter, because we do not have a starter that is in good enough condition for this vehicle. So we'll get the drive shaft in there first before we lower the vehicle down and do the starter, or do the starter then lower the vehicle down. One of the two. We're going to have to get these bolts in here with our super stretchy long arms that we have. Oh yeah, there's the wrenching sound. Wrench is so far away. At least it gives you that kind of dynamic though. It's not like, you know, wrenching while you're wrenching 20 feet away. So at least you get that kind of a bonus there. It's awesome sound quality effects. Now we're at the starter, so we're going to go back to our lovely computer, and we're going to go purchase a lovely new part. A new starter. Starter V8 for $95, which is $15 more. Perfect. See, examine mode, everything looks pretty good. We've made a lot of discoveries with this vehicle, and we have a lot of parts that are in good shape. We just have to go back to the engine bay after and start doing the disassemble and tear down of the engine. Hey, look, on this vehicle, we got one exhaust that has to come off. It looks like the throttle has to come off there. So we're going to go back to our computer, and we're going to select the phone. And there's a couple jobs here that we're going to choose from. And just Mayhem, Salem, you know, and the mulches. But we got these Salems that we can choose from. So, you know, there's a lot of vehicles coming up that we have a lot of parts that we can interchange with. And there's not really specifically one that we're going to intermatch. The cat has something to eat. Now she's back. She's on my hand. And we're going to continue the video together. If only I could wake up and bite somebody, and then I would have food, and yeah, I fed them. They always have a beautiful bowl of dry food, but I give them their twice a day wet food as well. Plus the stray kitties get all their food. So can we lift it up, move it over to the lifter with the... Yeah, we can move it with the hood up, so don't you worry about safety in here. No problem at all. Alright, so we got the car up in the air, now we're going to get it back down in the air. Onto the ground. Hello? Nobody's there. Well, we got a good check mark going on. $6,704, 405, 4,501, 2203 for a bonus completed task and bonus for completing the job. We're going to get a sizable amount for that after. We got these belt tensioner, air filters, timing belt, water pump pulleys, filters that need to be replacing, and fix all engine problems. So we got a lot to do in the front here. We're going to get at her. Nothing like the getting at her. Looks like we have some parts to take off before we can take this off. So we need to take off the tensioner. We need to take off this belt. And we're going to take off other parts. We're going to go ahead and remove this cat hair everywhere now. We're going to remove the water pump. Going to remove the pulleys. And another cat is going to wake up and come on over here. Come here, big guy. And they're going to start fighting. Alright. Going to get this vehicle disassembled here. We're going to remove a few more parts. Apparently he was hungry as well, so he woke up and now he is eating as well. Such perfect timing with these kitties. Alright. So this beautiful vehicle that we brought over is kind of a garbage vehicle there, and there's a lot of parts on there that need to be replaced, so not really the best one to be interchanging, but that's okay. Maybe we can do an air filter or something. Maybe we get something out of that vehicle for this vehicle specifically, but we'll see. Oh, that's a really bad air filter. I think that's worse than mine. 17%. We'll put that back in there. We'll put the cover in there, and it's good enough for now. We'll get these clips back on here, and we'll reset the air filter, and there we are. We're going to go back to our computer. I'm sure we start buying some parts because we've been missing on a few parts here and there, but that's fine. I'll go buy them later. Either after the video, or I'll do some walking back and forth and double checking. We'll see. But, yeah. Okay, we're going to get that throttle out of there. I've never replaced one of these yet, so we got to get the throttle out of there, and we got to replace that with a new one. Or an condition of an acceptable condition. No, that's not an acceptable condition. Maybe this one has one that's an acceptable condition. Kind of doubt it. It's not really in the best. Look at it. It's all rusty. Gearbox is terrible. Yeah, that fuel filter is definitely not going to be good. Examine it. 55%. Nope, not worth our time. So we're going to go back to the car. We're going to go back to the computer, and we're going to type in air. We should have just typed in filter from the beginning. I'm not going to say that, but that sounded bad. And there we are. Perfect. Okay, we can get the throttle back on here, and we're going to get the fuel filter back on there eventually. Well, the throttle eventually, but we're going to get the fuel filter on now. We're going to go back to the handy computer, and we know that we need a throttle just for the V8. So we need just a throttle, and we're going to go throttle V8, and this is the one that we specifically need for this engine. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a good time. Replace this, you lucky customer. Number one, we're going to get a 100% brand new throttle. How do you feel? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be today's winner. Okay, I'm going to get this engine back under control. Oh, there's a lot more stuff like fix all engine problems. There's a lot more, so I think we're going to have to tear this engine right apart. That's the unfortunate thing, I think, here. Oh, yeah, we're going to take this off, and we're going to take all the plugs out and covers and coils out of there, and oh, it's going to be a big task, and coils look not too bad. It might be one that we might have to replace eventually, but oh, we selected the wrong thing there. We're trying to take the spark plugs out, and we're going to take all of those out just to make sure that they're all in good condition. Now we're going to take the other side off. Gonna remove this cap. We're gonna remove the ignition coils after we get the don't touch me noise a couple times. Now we're gonna go ahead and take the cap off. We're gonna take the spark plugs off. Sorry, we're gonna take the spark plug number 2 off, spark plug number 3, spark plug number 4. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this cap off of the cover off. We found a couple of coils that need to be replaced. An oil filter that still needs to be replaced. Belt tensioner, oil ignition coil, water pump. And a few more other items that we're going to discover. So we're going to go ahead and take this cover right off of here. There's a manifold that we still have to replace. I think, oh no, we swapped it out from the other vehicle, I think. Yeah, we swapped it out from the other vehicle and we don't have to worry about replacing that. Now we're going to take this cover off here and we're going to go ahead and take a timing belt off. We're going to take all of that apart. So we're going to take the whole entire front assembly off. We're going to take, oh yeah, that timing belt needs to come off. Look at that. It's terrible conditions. And look at that. Oh, that's a camshaft. We're going to take off that, and we're going to have to interchange these. It looks like this one's in good enough condition just to remove the two parts and interchange them. So now we're going to remove the 8 bolts that are right here. We'll remove the 8 bolts and we'll take the 9 bolts. We need 9 bolts because we have one on the top right, the very top right there. So we're going to take this one on the very top right, there. Yeah, go ahead and take that one off. Okay, go ahead. And now we're going to go ahead and oh, both belts need to be replaced. Wow. You really did quite the number on your engine. So, oh look, well, we got a pretty good condition there. So if we got good condition right here, we're going to go ahead and replace all of these beautiful parts right here, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the engine mode, and we're going to do a bit of disassembly. We have to take all of this out to remove all of this. So we're getting the red light up in the front and the don't touch me noise. So the don't touch me noise is letting us know that we have to go over to the red areas of the engine. We have to start disassembling all the red areas first. We have a lot of either pulley beads that we have to remove, so we're going to remove all the either pulley beads. We're going to remove the power steering pump probably, and then we're going to remove that crankshaft pulley after this, so we can remove this cover for the timing belt. So now we're going to remove the timing belt cover, which has only 3 bolts. Wow, that's I don't know, maybe that's alarming, but I don't know. I'm not a vehicle guy. Maybe all the either pulleys hold everything off. So by the time you get that off, who cares, right? So now we're going to go ahead and take the belts off. We got 2 belts that we need to replace, and we got that camshaft that we need to replace. And we need maybe some gears in there. Maybe we'll do some gears. I don't know, but we got to go over here. We're going to go do a search. You got to click on the very top. We're going to click on belt. You have to click on belt first. Timing belt V8. We're going to click enter. We need 2 of them, so we're going to select 2 of them for $100, and we spent all that money for 100% part. So we're going to go out here and we're going to take this part and we're going to remove. We shouldn't. I should probably. I don't know. We're going to test them. They look good. We're going to get the check mark, but we're still going to take those off. And we're gonna take the wheels off, right? To take the cam gears off, and we're gonna remove the camshaft to interchange the 2 camshafts within the engine. So that now you're gonna have this one that's broken. Oh, I think I got it backwards there. Camshaft is still unchecked. Yeah, just want to replace it. I was kind of recording this when I was very tired. Either or. Now we're gonna get the correct mode, and we're just gonna go back here. We're gonna remove the timing belt off here. We're gonna take the cam gear off here. We're gonna get the camshaft off here. We're gonna go back to the other side. We're gonna go back to assemble mode, which is number 2 on the keyboard, not number 3. And number 3 is examine mode. We're gonna insert the camshaft. We're gonna insert the cam gear, and look, we got the cam gear that needs to be replaced, but we got the camshaft that's all messed up. So now we have 1 cam gear that needs to be replaced. So we have that 1%. So as long as we kind of get that cam gear in the right spot, so it seems that might have been the wrong spot, and we're gonna go ahead and replace this anyways, because all we have to do is interchange the two unless we got the cam gear selected, so that's fine. And we replaced the correct part there, so it looked like it was that cam gear that I just had selected. And we're going to replace the timing belt with the correct timing belt. We're going to ensure that we have 100% timing belt on here, and the timing belt's going to go on there. And then now we are going to put the timing cover onto the front of this engine, and we're going to go walk back to our computer, and we're going to go back to our computer. We're going to select at the very top. We're going to have to click on the top, and you have to click cam shaft V8. Now We'll walk back to our vehicle. No, we're going to go back to the computer, and we're going to get a cam gear because we need a cam gear because we had one cam gear that we replaced. So we replaced that cam gear. We're gonna buy ourselves a brand new cam gear so we can keep the cam gear for ourselves. Now we're going to keep the cam gear. We're going to keep the camshaft, and we also have some other parts that are not discovered yet. So I hope we don't have to tear this whole engine apart. Just fix that for no reason. I seem to do that a lot, but I don't really care. Maybe we can empty out the oil and have a look underneath and have a little inspection just to see exactly how far or on what side. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can be a little smart here. Now, where's that oil pan? Oh, yeah, it's over here. Okay, well, we're going to get this beautiful oil drain, and we're going to get it underneath the oil pan of the vehicle and hopefully not spill it on the floor. We'll see. We spent enough $100 so far. No, we don't want to disassemble it yet. We want to take the oil out of the oil pan. We want to select the oil drain. No. No, we want, yeah, we want that. Oh, we spilt it on the floor. That's why I hate this oil drain thing. I don't hate it, but I really dislike how, you know, you can easily misplace it. It looked perfect. Looked like we're in the good spot, but you got to go back and double check and triple check and. I just like to undo things and do things back up. But that $100 adds up real quick if you're going to do that on every vehicle you have to take the oil out of. So we're going to go ahead and remove this bottom oil pan. We're going to remove the oil filter because we have to do that. We have the engine oil drained and we need to do both sides. So yeah, we're going to have to tear this whole engine apart. Well, yeah, we're going to have to interchange them. We're going to have to find one that actually can change in there the piston with Conrod, that it's actually in a good enough condition. So, yeah, we're going to have to remove all of this. It's all going to come out. All of it. Hoist is going back down. We're going to go back into the engine, and we're going to remove all of it. All of it's coming out. All. Okay. Oh, we're going to start removing the fuel rail. We're going to start removing all of these things that we just put back on here. And hopefully you remember what place the cam gear is supposed to go in and what place the camshaft is supposed to go back in. We got the timing belts. Those are pretty easy to figure out, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But, oh, don't touch me. And we're going to go ahead and remove these engine parts here. And don't touch me. We're going to get this exhaust manifold off. Everything really has to come off when you're taking apart these parts of the engine, and everything needs to be disassembled correctly. And remove the parts and remove the bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what we need to remove. We're going to go back to the other side of the engine, and we can pull these out. But we need to do the same on the other side of the engine. And we're just going to switch. That one looks like it's in good enough condition. This looks like it's good enough condition. And we're done. Okay, now we're going to go back to this side. We're going to remove all the parts we need to remove. There's a few more. We need to remove that exhaust manifold from this side. We need to remove the exhaust manifold from this side of the vehicle. And we're going to remove it with all of these 8 bolts that we need to take off. So we're going to take off the 6 bolts in here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is what we need to take off. Now we're going to take out this piston with Conrod. You can see that's black compared to the rest of it. So now we're just going to go ahead and take this piston with the Conrod, and we're going to interchange it with this other one. My other kitty's here now to drink my water. This cat. Piston with Conrod. And now we have 2 parts that are not discovered in the engine. So, I don't know. Should we just tear this whole thing apart? What is it? We want to take this off. How big of a deal is it going to be? Got this to take out. And then, like, the rest don't look too bad. So, kind of looks like maybe we'll have, yeah, I don't know. Everything looks pretty good, so the engine looking good. I don't know, we might have to go back underneath and try to have a look at these little clips that hold the camshaft back into place. I don't know. Anything to do with the radiator? Can't examine it. Maybe we'll go to disassemble mode. Take this radiator out of here. And we're going to go put it back. Get the radiator back in good condition. And the fan was our problem. So it looks like we only have one more part that we have to deal with. He's upside down staring at my face. Okay, we're going to get this radiator fan here that we need on the far right. And we're going to go back to the vehicle and we shall start replacing things on the front. The radiator fan was in terrible condition. So now we found one mystery part. And yeah, not really too sure what else. You know, we did this battery by ourselves. Don't touch me. Disassemble mode. See, 15%, but that's the one that we put in there. Well, it's not going to be the battery, but we're just going to trade it out anyways, because trade up and trade out. See what we can do. That one's 58%. Maybe we can just swap the two. And then go back there and swap the other one after. Maybe we'll leave it. I don't know. Not a big deal. Maybe we'll buy one. I'm just going to buy one. There we are. Okay. Go back to the engine. And part not discovered. So definitely wasn't the battery that we had already taken out. And that we already switched out. We went ahead and bought ourselves a new battery. So we got ourselves a new battery and we got ourselves a supercell. And this person has a terrible garbage battery in their vehicle. We're going to go ahead and remove this one. And I think we're just going to go and do a little bit of trade. You know, this other vehicle's been through so much. Maybe we'll just give you the better one of the two. We'll give you the 58% battery. And we'll care about the other vehicle later. We'll just carry around 3 large batteries on our back with all these engine parts that we're holding in our pocket. Okay. Now, let's figure out what the other part is here. You know, it's not the starter. We already did all that. We already did everything systematically. What could it be? I don't know. We did. We tore everything apart here. Everything's been inspected. Oh. Nope. The base is good. Okay. So, that's been inspected. Everything's been looked at. Everything's been checked over. You know, the con rods that don't have to come out because they're not black. You know, they're all the colors that need to come out are brown or black because they've been burnt so badly in the engine. They've been blackened due to carbon, and underneath due to rust. They've been brown due to rust. So I don't really. What else did I miss? I don't really see too much. The oil, I don't know. The dipstick doesn't need to be replaced. How about this brake servo? That was in good condition, so really. Oh, well, that would have been part of the brakes anyways. So we got one part that's not discovered. What could that be? Everything else is, you know, we're doing pretty well. We just got to put that oil thing and we got to reassemble a bunch of stuff, but that's not a big deal. And we're going to solve all of that through reassembly. That's, it's okay. But, you know, I don't see anything else that I missed. Gonna have a good look. Gonna have a good, thorough, in-depth search of everything. Let's tear it all apart. Yeah, so it's all coming apart. Gonna tear it all apart. We did our surveillance, and everything else looks okay, but we're still gonna pull them all out. We're gonna put this engine back into the air. We're gonna have a look underneath, and we know that those two parts are not good. But we're gonna go and see if we can remove these crankshaft bearings underneath. Yes, we got the crankshaft bearing caps that have been inspected. The crankshaft looks in good condition by itself. So everything else has been taken care of here, and Not too sure what it could be. We're gonna go remove this piston with don't touch me noise, don't touch me noise, don't touch me noise, and don't touch me noise, because we're gonna raise the car back into the air again to remove the crankshaft, and that's what we're gonna do, is remove the crankshaft for the V8 after we remove the rest of the bearings here, and ensure that every single part is in acceptable condition, because we're going to remove it. Come on, come on, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. Come on, don't touch me. Come on. I have to take something else off, don't I? Oh, yeah, I gotta take the gearbox apart. Gonna take the gearbox apart just to take this thing apart again. So, kind of pointless that I took that all apart. So now, we're gonna go back here and take all of this apart again. And we're gonna go back to the drive shaft again, and go click on the drive shaft again, and use our super extendable arms. Click on the muffler first, and then we can click on the drive shaft. So we have to click on the drive shaft, undo these bolts that are about 15 feet away from us, turn around, undo more bolts that are about 15 feet away from us, and it'll be good. So we're going to go ahead and remove these bolts here, and we're going to take them down. Going to take the drive shaft off, we're going to take these bolts off, and we're going to take this gear shaft, gearbox off. We're going to take the clutch plate off. We're going to take the clutch plate cover. We're going to take the 6 bolts that are on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to take the 5 bolts that are on there, not 6. There was not 6, there's 5 bolts. We're going to take the flywheel back off. We're going to take the crankshaft out of there. We're going to take the engine block out of there. Might as well put it back down on the ground and take the engine block right out of there. It looks a little rusty, so we're going to lower it back down on the ground, and we're going to take the engine block right out of the car. We're going to take the engine right out of the car, put the engine block back in, 91%. So that eliminates that question. Is it good enough? Yeah, looks like it's good. So now we have a lot of assembling to do, but we still have not found the last problem. We don't know what the last problem is yet. We have no idea. Could be anything. Well, we're going to lift the car back up into the air. Go ahead and go back over here, and here we are. Put the crankshaft into here, and we're going to go ahead and assemble crankshaft con rods and the crankshaft bearing cap and all of the other items that attach to the crankshaft to make this functional. Beautiful. It's a good time. We were able to get rid of one crankshaft bearing cap that we had on our inventory. We still have this part that's not discovered, but we're going to go ahead and reassemble a lot of this engine, and we're going to go ahead and replace a lot of the engine parts that we can from way down here. The most garbage parts first. Where's the flywheel that had to be done? Let's go back down here. Flywheel and gearbox. Yeah, we had to put a proper flywheel on there. Yeah, so flywheel 100%. Now we're going to get this clutch plate back onto here, and we're going to ensure that the clutch pressure plate is placed onto the vehicle back with its 5 bolts that are required. So we're going to place the 5 bolts that are required back onto the vehicle, clutch release, clank, and gearbox. And we're going to place the 6 nuts that are required, or the bolts that are required into the engine bay. We're going to replace the starter because we had to have 100% starter on here. So we're going to do the 2 bolts that are attached, and we're going to do the drive shaft on here. So if we do the drive shaft on here, it's going to be the last thing. We have to click on the muffler in order to do the drive shaft, and we're still not able to do the drive shaft because we're not in the perfect angle. So we're on the drive shaft, and we're now clicked on the drive shaft, and we had to click on it twice in order to get to the drive shaft. So now we're going to assemble the 4 bolts that are at the very front, and we're going to do it from this angle. We don't have to turn around. Look at that. Look at that. We're upgrading our intelligence. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the engine bay, and we're going to go and start assembling the engine pan, I believe, because that would be the smartest move from here, right? So we're going to go and click on the actual engine. Come on, sleepyhead. There, go back to assemble mode, not examine mode. I really want to do that steering rack. It's been bugging me the whole time. I've been thinking about it for ever, and I don't know. Since we've gone through all of this work, you know what I mean? What's a little bit more? Okay, we're going to take this oil filter off of there. A V8, we need the yellow one. So, we will go back to the vehicle, and we're going to replace the oil filter with the proper V8 oil filter. Yay! Now we shall go into the engine bay, and we're going to go lower the car back down onto the ground from the air, and we shall have our vehicle on the ground, onto the hoist. And the piston with con rod, and we have many more of these to replace. Ensure that we put the correct pistons with the con rods, and well, we can just put it on this side, that way we ensure we get rid of the problem. Now we're going to go back to the opposing side, ensure that we start with the one that actually will work in this position, and we'll just throw all the rest in there because we don't have any leftover con rods right now. We don't have any that we purchased from the store yet, so we'll go deal with that after. We still have that one part that I have no idea, but it's nothing to do in the engine, so we can go ahead and reassemble the engine, confidently knowing that we don't have any parts in there that we need to change out. But we're going to go back to our computer. We're going to go start purchasing some parts, and we're going to go to piston and with con rod. Piston with con rod. Piston, and we're going to go and purchase 2 of those. We purchased 2 of them. We're going to go ahead and put this engine cover back onto here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to go ahead and place the camshaft back onto here. Ensure that we place the cam gear back into the correct slot, and the camshaft back into the correct slot. Cam gear back into the correct slot, and we're going to put the timing belt back on. Go back and just make that a little correction, because I believe that was the correct position to install the cam gears on. We will ensure that after through our little checklist, and we will put these 6 bolts in here. We're going to put the exhaust manifold back onto there. Put the fuel rail? Yeah, fuel rail onto there. The camshaft. Another camshaft. Okay, yeah. And cam gear, 1%. Now we're going to get rid of this other cam gear onto here. Beautiful. I think that should pretty much cover all of the engine things that we need. For the internal engine parts, we just have a bunch of pulleys and idlers and tensioners and whatnot to go through. There we are. Everything's looking pretty good. Everything's looking pretty assembled. And we're looking good. Now we just get these spark plugs into here. Ensure that we start at the very worst one first. But I don't think we have any spark plugs laying around. But we're just going to go ahead and dispose of them all. Back into the engine, so that the engine will work. We don't have to come back and disassemble everything just to put a spark plug back in here. That's not what we want to do. Although we've already done things like that. Perfect. Okay. Well, it's looking pretty good. We have this other timing belt to replace onto here. And it's going to be a good time. So we'll have this other timing belt that's going to be already put on there. We're going to put the timing belt cover onto there. And now we have a bunch of either pulleys put onto here. Ensure that we put the correct amount of bolts on here. 9 bolts. We're on bolt number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Now, ignition coil. And these are the ones that we ensure that we have to get into the proper slots. So we're going to start with all of the garbage ones first. Maybe we'll do, yeah, all the garbage ones. And then we're going to replace the one here. Now, let's see if we go back to this other side. Start replacing the parts we have to replace. Going to put the 9 bolts our bolts back into the engine bay. Yes, 9 of them. There we go, 8 and 9 at the very top. There we go. Perfect. Now we get the ignition coil back onto here. And there we go. Another one. 3, 4. Number 4 ignition coil. Okay, now we're going to go and check. We do not have check marks on 2 ignition coils. So 2 of them are not in good enough condition. We're just going to take these 2 off. And we're going to take these 2 off. This one here. And we're going to go back assemble mode. We'll place that one there. I'm going to check the list. We didn't get a check mark, so that didn't really make a difference. We're going to go ahead and remove this one. And remove the spark plug apparently. We're going to put the spark plug back in. And we're going to place the ignition coil back into here, the 7%. Now we're going to remove this ignition coil here. And we're going to go replace it with this better ignition coil. So we got 1 ignition coil, which has been checked off. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this ignition coil. And we're going to replace this ignition coil here. And we're going to check our list. And we got all the ignition coils checked off. So that means we can go back to this side and replace these ignition coils with the garbage ignition coils that were the problem in the whole place. So now we have all the check marks for the ignition coils, and we have a few more parts to go buy from the computer. Perfect. And coil. Ignition coil for $60. And we have purchased 3 of them. Now we'll go back to our computer, tensioner. Hence, we'll buy one of these. And we have purchased a tensioner. Now we're going to go back to our car. We're going to go and go back to our assemble mode, which is number 2 on the keyboard. We're going to place these covers back onto here. Because everything has been purchased, all of the new parts have been supplied. We need a new water pump, 18%. Part not discovered, but it is on our list. So we have to go tensioner, water pump pulley. So we got the tensioner already. We need the water pump. So we shall go to our computer. Type in water or pump. It probably would be better to whatever. Water pump. Get the correct one. Oh, water pump pulley. Okay, well, we got that, but we still need a water pump. So I'm going to wake up eventually when I get back over here to install the water pump and realize that I need a water pump. Here we are. I'm realizing that I need a water pump, so I'm going back to the computer to buy a water pump. Perfect. Wonder how far away I can select the computer from. Okay. Perfect. Now we'll get this water pump installed. And we have a water pump now. We're going to put these 3 bolts back in here. And now we have a lot of either pulleys that need to be replaced in the... Well, not a lot, but we need one that needs to be replaced in the proper area. But we're just going to go buy one right now. And idler... I-D-E-L. Idle. I don't know. Go back to the vehicle. And we have purchased our one item that we need. So we're going to go back to assemble mode, not examine mode. And we're going to place the most recent one. We're going to try to get rid of that garbage one maybe in this vehicle. We did get one. We did dispose one in the other vehicle. So that's why we have only 1 garbage one and 2 on the list. So this didn't make the check mark appear. So we can go ahead and replace this garbage one here. And then we don't have to worry about the rest of them. Oh, we got the idler roller A's that we need to do. Great. So we need to go back to the computer. Buy 2 of these. There we are. Now we have 2 in stock. And we have 2 that we can trade out after. So we'll go ahead and trade 2 of them after. But we're just going to go ahead and finish this vehicle. We'll get her all assembled to the furthest we can and try to figure out that last part. So the other roller is what we need. We're going to get these either rollers here, and either roller Bs are what we are currently working on. Water pump pulley is one we had to buy a new water pump pulley for. So we have this water pump pulley that we've interchanged. We got this crankshaft pulley that we're interchanging. While we're replacing, we're putting this either roller onto here, not the pulley. We're putting the either roller and the this pure power steering pump after. Did the water pump already. So belt tensioner, exhaust manifold, and small little things to button up in here. So it looks like we have succeeded in the front end pass that we need of the engine. Now there's just replacing some belts, taking care of the tensioner that we need to replace, because we had the tensioner that we have to replace, so it needs to be actually in a good condition. So we need to select one that's 100%, because we need the belt tensioner there. So we're going to go back and select the one that's in 100%. We could just trade it out with the other vehicle, but we're going to give this person a lucky 100%, and we're going to put the alternator on here. And see, we got the either rolly that we still need to replace. Exhaust manifold and everything else is checked off, except for that other part that's not discovered yet. But we're not going to worry about it until we got everything checked off. There we are. Either roller A has been replaced. Now we just need this exhaust manifold to be replaced. Perfect. Exhaust manifold. We're going to put this garbage one on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go back for 8. Perfect. Now we're going to go back to this side. Select our worst condition exhaust manifold. Ensure to replace it with all the bolts. 4, 5, 6, 8. Oops. Miscounted there. Oh, we had to got the exhaust manifold on the wrong side. Oops. That's okay. We only have 16 bolts to undo and 16 bolts to do back up. No problem. We only get 1 experience point. But at least we get an experience point now for removing the part off of here. So we're going to go ahead and remove the beautiful 16 bolts that we need to remove. We're going to put the garbage one back onto the other side, not on this side. Oops, a little bit too much of it escaping there. Now we shall go to our assemble, and we're going to put the proper one on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bolts. Now see, we just have that one part that has not been discovered yet. Now we're going to put this exhaust manifold on, and we're going to put these nuts back on here. And perfect. There we are. Now we're going to go back to our computer. Walk over to our computer. We're going to type at the very top, manifold. We're going to buy one manifold, exhaust manifold. I don't think I bought one yet, so we're just going to buy one. There we are. So now everything in the engine has pretty much been put back together from this side of the angle. Looks like we're doing a pretty good job. Now everything has been replaced, and doesn't look like there's anything else that I really need to do. But we're going to put it in the center. Car doesn't have all wheels, so we can't do that. It's just going to allow me to have a little walk around, a little think around here about what I should be doing with this vehicle, because I don't know. I don't do any test drives, so I'm not going to waste my time with that. Apparently we're just going to lift it in the air. We're going to have a bit of a look underneath and replace the oil pan underneath as well, because probably to get it over the center we're going to have to drive it, so it's going to need to be in operating condition, right? So we got the oil pan back on, and we got everything attached. Everything's looking good. It's pretty good. It's all good. Okay, looking good here. I don't really see much that I have missed. I've taken apart every single part of this engine, so I don't really know where the last part could be. I've literally touched basically every single part on this car, so I have to start thinking about parts that I have not touched. So is there anything like inside the car that I missed, like in the doors or anything? I don't think there's any parts I can touch. There's just the exhaust that appears. If I get in here, there's not even a display back there. Is that broken? I don't know. Nothing in there. Can't do it in the test path. What about the... See everything? You know, I've done everything in here. Can't take the hood off. It's 100%, so it's not a damaged hood. Doesn't have anything to do with the body. But maybe it was a hood on the engine? Like... No? The hood's 100%, so... I don't know. Let's open up the hood. Not that. Throttle's good. Starter's good. Everything's been touched in here, so... I don't know. I have no idea what it could be. But so far, we have made $6,174 for money spent on the job. $2,475 for bonus for completing tasks. So far, we're making $8,649 on this job. And we've done a lot. Filters need replacing, replace timing, related parts, find and fix any running gear problems, poor brake performance, and then find and fix all gearbox problems. Then all we have to do is find and fix all engine problems. So engine is part not discovered, air filter, belt tensioner, cam gear, camshaft, exhaust manifold, fuel filter, either roller A, either roller A, either roller B, ignition coil, piston with con rod, radiator fan, starter V8, throttle. We kind of go over there. It's got to be some kind of clue in here, like the air filter, belt tensioner, cam gear, camshaft. We've taken all that apart. Exhaust manifold, fuel filter is like, you know, the only thing that I see out on the list. It's like, is it the fuel filter? Place occupied by another car. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna get this vehicle and go back to the very back, and we're gonna select. Oh, I see some rust. 3%. Oh, it's the only part that I didn't touch on this vehicle. Come on, really? Okay, that's fine. Got me on that one. Fuel pump. Okay, and we'll go back to the rear end. And we're gonna go ahead and replace this fuel pump. And I'm gonna replace the fuel pump here. Let's see, we got 100% condition. Now we got $12,588 that we've made on this vehicle. So one fuel pump brought us from $8,000 to $12,000 for one fuel filter because we got that bonus at the end of the job. So well, we're doing pretty good. We got 12 grand in one job, and we didn't take too many garbage parts. We got rid of a pretty good fair amount of parts that we needed to get rid of. You know, maybe there's a little bit more we could do, but so far, you know, we've done actually really well on this vehicle and replacing what we need to replace. And it's been look, condition unknown, so we can probably take this one. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this front shock absorber cap. Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm gonna take the wheel off. Nope, not gonna take the wheel off. I'm gonna take this end link off. Gotta take the wheel off anyways, so gonna take the wheel off now with our arms that reach all the way around the wheel. And we're gonna go ahead and remove these two nuts here. And we're gonna remove the shock absorber, the two bolts that are at the very bottom. And we're gonna replace shock absorber with this very garbage shock absorber. And we're gonna replace this link with the garbage one that we have. And we are going to replace the cap with a better condition one, I believe. Gonna get that rim back on there. Yeah, I gotta go around. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna, yeah. Yeah. Come on, really? Okay. Perfect. Okay. We're not doing too bad. We have some parts that we have to get rid of, but that's okay. Let's see, we got the front shock absorber cap that we need to replace. So we're gonna go ahead and replace this front shock absorber cap, and everything has been checked off on this vehicle. It's good. Perfect. $12,569 is what we're gonna profit. We're gonna get all that money back because we spent all that money on parts, so it's still a profit either way. So we're gonna profit that $12,569. Good. We have a lot of parts that we're gonna have to change over, but they're just basic kind of brakes and basic, you know, different internal engine parts that we're gonna have to exchange for different parts of this vehicle. Different parts of other vehicles with parts from this vehicle. Well, it's looking pretty good. We might do a little bit more messing around with this vehicle just to ensure that we can get rid of all the parts that we can. And we're going to ensure that we have all of the parts that we can remove off this vehicle. And no exhaust pipes that we have laying around. Still kind of tempted to do that steering rack, but we'll see. Oh, nothing else that really stands out that I can do on this vehicle. We're going to put it back down on the ground. Going to lower it back down to the ground here. And we are going to have a look inside of the engine bay. Nothing we can do with the ABS modules because that's all had to be replaced. We can't rip them off with that. So looks like we've kind of done pretty much everything that we can really do with this vehicle. I have one more look through the parts. You know, all the pumps and the ABS module we can't do anything about because we need another car to exchange them with. The air filters we're going to have to exchange on another car. But it's going to make sure that I bought all the parts, and we're going to have a look at the next car that we're going to bring in here. So the next vehicle that we want to bring in is something that's going to be fun. We can't take that job yet because we need 8,000 experience. And on another job, we need 8,000 experience. So we're going to be stuck with one of these two. We'll probably bring in one of these vehicles at the end. One has brake problems and one has the engine working but choppy, and filters and timing parts and sloppy car steering that we're going to have to replace on this vehicle. So going to be a little bit of love there. And you know, this one's pretty much finished, and we're going to go back to our phone, back to our computer area, or our phone, general gearbox control and repair. And not too sure what those little colors on it. Maybe that's the color of the vehicle. I think it might be the color of the vehicle. Not sure. Gonna close the hood. Just gonna send this out. Maybe. Everything's checked off. 12,569, 3,142, $6,285 in parts spent. And we need a cap. What's that? Rear shock absorber cap is what we needed, I believe. Wasn't reading. I was just kind of talking. Yep. We need the rear shock absorber and some more parts on the rear end replaced because I just kind of walked away and blabbing on and forgot to replace parts in the rear end because I took every single part off of this vehicle. So we need to get a bushing back into here, small rubber bushing. Now we can do another bolt through there so we can put the arm back on. We're gonna have to lift the car back into the air to get the hoist back up to get this one part back onto the vehicle. And it's going to be very easy to get on here now. I'm just going to get this one part, suspension arm A, down to the very bottom. And it's been, yeah, we're going to get the spring cap back on here, and it's been good. Just want to take this short minute before the very end of the video and say thank you to everyone who's been following along, and thank you for watching these videos that I put up here. I have many more videos for anyone to check out, so a lot of them have no talking, and some of them will have talking. I kind of like the short 1 minute videos. 12,569, no oil in the engine, and I don't know, we'll do kind of a series of different things. But thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to drink something, eat something, drink more oil than I poured into this engine, please. Have a great time. We're gonna slap this out of there. 12,569 with $17,620.